Hi, welcome to Mind Your Business Monday. I'm your host, Arlisa Kent, business model designer, coach, speaker, and author. Welcome my co-host, Travis Kent. He is our public relations ambassador, speaker, counselor, and author. Welcome to the show, Travis.
Hey now, how are you today?
I am great. How are you?
I am well, thank you. It's good to see you after seeing you all day.
I know, right?
Okay, guys, Mind Your Business Mondays are brought to you by On Point Alliance, LLC. Here at On Point Alliance, we provide identity related solutions through a diversified scope of services, with fingerprinting and background screening being our primary services. Go to onpointalliance.com to learn more about our services. Hey guys, at the end of the show, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So what we're going to do is we're going to be giving away uh, trips, either to Cancun or a trip to Las Vegas. The winner will get selected at the end of the program. Only thing you would have to do is pay close attention to the things that we'll be talking about. And once we pose the question at the end of the show, then you'll be allowed to answer that question and win the trip. Okay. Now, this is not a timeshare. This is not a timeshare. This is a real trip. Okay. Terms and conditions do apply. So again, we want you to pay close attention to this program and what we'll be discussing for your chance to win that trip. Okay.
All right. Excuse me. So I'm excited tonight to be bringing our second episode of Mind Your Business Monday. Some of you all know me. Some of you are getting to know me. So just a little backstory on who I am. Ever since I was a child, I've been business minded. So instead of playing house, I played store or I was the banker. Okay. The kids got the money from me. All right. So I had my first business when I was 7. My brother and I would take non-perishable items and make things like popcorn balls. We would take biscuits and make donuts, and we would sell what we made to the kids in the neighborhood so we can get Chinese food and Church's Chicken from down the street. So when Mama say, "No, we can't have any," tell us to go eat what's in the kitchen. We like, "Hey, we got some money," and she's trying to figure out how, and we told her what we did. So, that's how we kept it popping. And she got a breast out the deal when we went to Church's Chicken. So everybody was happy.
Everybody won.
So entrepreneurship is part of who I am. I've helped so many people start and launch their businesses throughout the years. So this platform is enabling me to assist more people on a wider scale. So, Mind Your Business Monday was designed to be a compass for small business owners looking to grow. We'll be speaking with other business owners and subject matter experts who will teach you exactly how to do that. Okay. So, the goal is for you to grow yourself as a leader, both personally and professionally. So, if this all sounds good to you, please like, follow, share, and subscribe to this podcast and all of our social media outlets that will be in the description of this episode.
All right, guys. So here's a great part on today. We are blessed to have with us a special guest is going to help us have this discussion on today. We'll be discussing a very important topic on today, and a mysterious subject at that. Today we'll be discussing the myths and misinformation about business credits. Okay. Today our guest is none other than Karina Simon, business funding strategist and credit educator. She is the owner of Goldilocks Financial and Goldilocks Capital, which is a financial services and business lending brokerage providing quality funding solutions, credit restoration services, and ongoing financial literacy education. Karina is also the founder of Business Credit from Scratch, which is an online accelerator teaching startups and experienced business owners step by step how to build business credit in 90 days, establish lender authority, and access 50,000 plus in capitals to scale their business or higher profits. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mrs. Karina Simon. Hey now.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come help us get our entire life
Life
together.
together.
Okay.
We need our life together.
Listen, I'm so
Thank
excited about
you.
this here information. So get us together, lady.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be a part with you guys and joining in. I'm happy to add value. Let's talk about it.
All
Yes.
right, let's get this road on the show. All right. Miss Karina, do us a favor and tell us a little bit more about your services that you provide.
Can you hear me? I didn't hear anything you said. There was a delay on my end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we caught one with you. It was something like this. Wasn't too bad. Just go ahead and since you can, oh, there she goes again. Go ahead and do us a favor and tell the audience a little bit more about your services.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And just to add on a little bit more to what you were saying, so I do own a financial services company, and it really stems just from my passion for consumer finance and just educating people on how credit works. That's where it started from, right? And then we
Mm-hmm.
transition into the business arena and commercial credit and how to leverage business credit right into our businesses to grow and scale our revenue. So we offer credit services on the personal side. And I do have a small business lending brokerage, which is Go Deluxe Capital. And then as it relates to business credit, I have an online accelerator course, which you mentioned, Business Credit from Scratch, where I teach business owners how to build business credit in 90 days and establish that lender authority so they can learn how to be fundable to get access to the capital they need to grow their business.
Okay.
Wow.
So I know for some people that don't know, and like we talked about, the title being the myths and misinformation about business credit. Can you do us a favor and tell us why business credit is so important?
I love that question. And tell me, can you hear me? Okay. I just want to make sure
Yes, we
We hear
can.
you now.
before I run my mouth. So the number one reason why I always say and advocate for the importance of business credit is because it's a risk mitigator. When we enter the business space, whether you're a startup or experienced business owner, there's always going to be levels of risk. There's going to be ebbs and flows, highs and lows, right? We're going to have
Mhm.
wins and losses. But if we can separate ourselves, the individual, from our business entities and build a separate business credit profile, we at least are mitigating that potential risk of what I call going broke, depleting our savings, depleting our 401k, trying to fund and reinvest back into the business.
Right.
So the number one reason would be to just separate risk and protect your personal assets.
Wow. That's huge. It anything else, because you could just,
Yeah.
have your way, honey.
Flow.
Let it flow.
Get up. We
So,
want at least one more, cause
yeah, so that's the number one reason. Let's see.
uh
The second reason why it's important is because and it really all kind of ties is your business is its own entity, so it needs its own profile. It needs its own what I call report card to show its financial responsibility, right? Your business's financial statements are not a reflection of how you personally manage or mismanage money. So your business it stands on its own two legs, so it needs its own personal, excuse me, its own commercial credit profile. And that's also how you build a strong, solid what I call talk that talk and establish lender authority if and when you're seeking funding opportunities. So it's better to start building business credit when you're not necessarily in need of it, if that makes sense, than to be 5, 10 years in business and you're like, oh my goodness, I need access to capital. And now you're trying to figure out how to get it. Do you know what I mean?
yes,
Right.
totally. So, is it true that you have to have good personal credit to start establishing business credit?
I love that question. So, no, it is not true. I'll answer that straightly. You do not have to have good personal credit to start building business credit. Your personal credit will become a variable at some point. Business credit is established and built in tiers. So, you can kind of get tier one to tier two with bad personal credit. But to elevate to tier three to tier four to access, greater terms, lower interest rates, bigger funding options, yes, your personal credit will come into play down the line. But I always tell people you don't have to start off having good personal credit to start building business credit. You don't have to
Right.
wait.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what would you say to those people that believe they say, "Oh, you don't need a credit repair specialist. Credit repair is a scam because they may have had a bad experience." What would your response be to that person? Say, "I can do that myself."
Yeah, I love it. I love it because before I'm a business owner, I'm a person first, right? I'm a human, I'm a person, and I'm a consumer. So I understand both sides of the spectrum, which is honestly one of the things that has always intrigued me about the space because it had such a stain on it. And I largely say that's due to the marketing, right? And the bad apples of the bunch that kind of sell this narrative of we'll wipe your credit reports clean, or you'll go from a 400 to a 760 days. And it paints an unrealistic picture of how credit really works.
Hmm.
And the fact that you're a federally protected consumer. So for me, it's really about education more than it is about I'll fix your credit really quickly. But to those who find it to be a scam or they've had bad experiences, I completely understand. I think financial services in general, whether we're talking banking, whether we're talking insurance, whether you're talking credit, whether you're talking lending, there's always going to be bad apples in that bunch. But I do think it's really important as consumers to just do your due diligence. Understand that credit repair is a legal financial service. It's not an illegal service. You just have some what I call janky folks out
Yes.
there, right, giving misinformation and not really leading with integrity. So I completely understand the reservation, but I think we set ourselves apart greatly in being licensed, bonded, BBB accredited, and in full compliance with the government.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. That does make a difference.
yeah,
So, what three tips? What three tips? Everything else we know we can sign up for the course for.
yeah.
Okay. But what three tips would you give a business owner in regards to business credit, regardless if it's the consumer side or the business side?
Sure. So the three tips for business credit, the first tip is always to make sure that your foundation is established. You'll hear in the business credit world terms like establishing your business credibility, establishing business legitimacy. Basically means creating a solid foundation that you build business credit off of. So an example, which I don't mind giving a few tips, right? Number one is going to be making sure that you're a registered entity with your Secretary of State. I think that's a no-brainer. A common question is like, can I build business credit with just a DBA or as a sole prop? Can you? Sure. Will you get far? No. You can't really go beyond like one level. So if you want to open Pandora's box, fully access just everything that's available to you, you want to have your LLC. You want to make sure that you have a business address. Whether you have a brick and mortar business or not, you can use a virtual address, business email, no Yahoo, no Gmail accounts. You want to make sure that you have, of course, a website, even if it's just a landing page. You want to make sure that you have your EIN and your DUNS number from Dun and Bradstreet, just as a baseline. There's over 20 factors of credibility, right, that lenders kind of tap into. I have a saying that I say called "Think like a big business." A lot of times we play ourselves small because we're not, Walmart, Target, Disney, whatever. Before you could even get to that level, right, you have to think on that level. So when you're reaching out to Disney World, let's just say to plan a trip, right, you're not emailing disneyworld@gmail.com. You know what I mean?
Right.
So just making sure that those foundations are set up as a lendable, fundable business is the first tip. The second tip I always say is to make sure that you are working on your personal credit simultaneously, not a 680 plus. Again, you don't have to wait to build business credit, but you do want to be working on it simultaneously. So by the time you get to tier 3, if you have to personally guarantee something, because sometimes commercial lenders and creditors require a personal guarantee, you're in position and it's not a big deal. Let's see. And then the third tip I would give in the business credit space would be, not skip steps. Do not, if you're really trying to establish and build business credit and a strong profile,
Hmm.
steps will be to your detriment. Either you will get instant denials and declines because you don't have enough what we call payment experiences established on your commercial credit profile with different tiers, Or even if you are approved in skipping your step, you're approved at a lower limit or a higher interest rate than what you may have been approved at had you built in order.
Wow. Okay, those were all amazing and obtainable. It is,
Yeah.
when you start thinking about credit, depending on how low your credit is, it just seemed like it's some humongous.
Yeah, it's mind over matter. It's a lot of it
Yeah.
is mental. A lot of it is mental. And I will say, if I can add, I think that goes back to what we were talking about just on the personal credit side, right? I like to do it this way. We can ourselves. I can do my own plumbing. Do I want to do that? Do I want to learn how to do that? No. I
Right.
want to hire a plumber. Okay.
Right.
Right. Wait a
What
minute.
we can do, and nothing against, and I'm not equating, right, getting your credit together to fixing your plumbing, but just as a silly analogy, anyone, yes, can go out there and try to repair their own credit, and many people have been successful. I am not someone who is against people. That's wonderful if you know what you're doing and you understand consumer protection laws. Credit repair really ties back into consumer protection laws and leveraging those laws and holding the bureaus and debt collectors accountable to what they report and how they're operating, basically, because there's laws that govern that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be signing up next. I need you in my
Yes,
life.
and
I
have
need this business credit to pop off like it should, so we can go ahead and maximize every opportunity because we do have a lot of um, growth plan
Yeah.
goals in place.
Hmm.
And so often, me as well as a few of my peers just thinking about being in debt. We associate credit to debt.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Yeah.
I love this conversation. I'll be the first one to say that I'm careful in how I word this, but I'll say it this way, right? Operating or accessing capital or operating in any amount of debt, even if it's $5, right, isn't for everybody. But this is how I like to kind of shift people's mindset with that. It's not about building business credit so that you can run up a bunch of business debt or run up a bunch of personal debt and hide it under your business. Do people do
right.
that? Yes. That is not its intended purpose, nor is that what I recommend or suggest. For
Hmm.
me, and what I teach is more so about having the access to the capital and having options on the table that you can explore. And it's also just about building those banking relationships and building relationships with different vendors for when you do have a big opportunity that comes your way. You're not like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to figure this thing out from scratch. I'll give you just a very simple example. Say your cash flow positive, your financials are in a great place, your business is run, everything is going well. I still pay for my business expenses using either my business credit cards and I pay them off every month, right? Everything isn't necessarily about using money that you haven't earned yet. So I pay my business expenses with my business. I also have, for instance, like a Sam's Club MasterCard. So when I buy certain supplies or things, I may use my Sam's Club MasterCard to further my relationship with Sam's Club, right? Or I may use my Divvy business credit card, business cash account card. Or for gas, I use my business Shell account card. That's a tier 2 fleet card. I'm not getting gas with my business Shell card because I don't have the personal money and now I owe my business. I'm
Right.
just building those relationships and helping strengthen my business credit profile because you never know. Let's just say I come across some opportunity where I need access to 50,000 in funding for some great venture that could gross me, right? Quadruple that, 10 times that, whatever it looks like. I at least want to be in position to have the option to tap into that if I want to. Does that make
That's
sense?
totally. And
Yes,
that
it
Okay.
was
does.
you just break it down so simple.
Oh, thank
And
you.
yeah, and I love that because
Thank you.
it last year so many people start tapping into the credit repair space.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh. It was like A great migration. I was like, what's
Yes.
going on?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And because I needed to start establishing credit, my thing, it just made more sense for me to learn how to do it
of
and ask
course.
questions about, to kind of really dig deep into how to
Yeah.
effectively
Hmm.
uh, build and establish credit. And
Hmm.
so it just you see so much and I people call me asking questions, and some of the stories, a lot of them just was they wanted to do it, they know it's important, but they were afraid
For
because they've
sure.
been burned. So I think meeting someone like yourself who can break this thing down in simple terms,
Hmm.
someone who you keep using this word, the laws,
The law.
yeah, the law. It just adds some, not only just authority behind it, but a level of trust just with
Absolutely.
you being in compliant and making that a priority in your business.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you saying that. And I will say, I have no shame in saying that as a business owner, integrity sometimes, and maybe you can relate, depending on the business and the industry, integrity and operating in compliance can sometimes be at a financial cost to your business, because I'm not willing to operate out of compliance just to quote unquote hook somebody up using some illegal tactic. So there
Right.
are individuals, and I'll be the first one to say, right? Credit repair, whether you're hiring somebody or doing it yourself, it's a process, right? It didn't take 30, 60 days, 90 days to get into the situation. It's not necessarily going to take that to get out. Are
This
there
is good.
nuances or situations where sure people have like some quick boosts or some light success early on? Yes. But to really get your reports all the way together, it can take 6 months to a year. Everyone's report is different. And sometimes when you explain that to people and go even more into the education of why and how that process works, that's a deterrent for some people because they've been marketed to that it should take 120 days or less. I'm willing to let you go to who I call Janky Joe over here,
Thank
wherever
you.
he
Thank
is,
you. Yeah.
and you can work that out with him.
Yes.
And
Right.
we've had many people circle back and say, this was my experience. I wish I would have just been patient and understood. Oh, you're not just trying to keep me as a client for 6 months. This thing really can take 6 months. Like,
Okay.
you know? So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this was some very, very, very helpful information.
Very helpful.
Thank you.
And I'm really looking forward to really diving into your resources.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, and I really believe that this is one of those episodes that's going to help a lot of people. And so once we can, get all your contact information, I'm sure people are going to be really appreciative just with your approach to the whole subject.
Absolutely. I'm grateful to you both. I'm super passionate about this and I enjoy being what I would call one of the good guys. And our 5-star Google reviews and all of the behind the scenes messages that we receive, I think solidifies that. And it makes me feel good about what I'm doing, even on the crazy days, right? Or when crazy things are happening in the industry. So I appreciate you and your platform.
Yes, ma'am.
Man. With so many, and the thing about it is now everybody wants to be a boss.
Whoo, talk about it.
Everybody want to, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, and that is a big missing ingredient from a lot of people that's out there. It's like there's no integrity. So you have
Yes.
these companies that come up and they're credit repair, and it's like they
Yep.
have no integrity, and people get burned and they
Yep.
lose trust or whatever. So when you really think about it, it is a matter of somebody actually taking a chance on you. When you take a chance on somebody and you show them, you prove to
Absolutely.
them that they can trust you, they will go and do those reviews and they will spread the word that they
Absolutely.
got the business taken care of with Miss
Yeah.
Karina Simon.
Yes.
And most people, I will say to that point, most people appreciate honesty and when you keep it real with them about the situation. Like my team and I, right? We're going to be the first one to tell you. And we audit, if we're talking personal, I know we're kind of getting away from business for a sec, business credit. But when we audit your personal credit reports, I'm going to tell you, hey, that collection that just hit your report yesterday and you really owe them people and they have every document to prove it, the likelihood of leveraging any laws to remove that is going to be slim to none because it's 100% accurate and verifiable in accordance with the law. Where there are opportunities for us to leverage laws for deletion, we'll tell you that. But I'm just not big on selling pipe dreams of, these 3 repos from 2021 are going to come clean off. Like, you're going to have to
Right.
deal with some of the things that, we've all been there. We're going to have to deal with some of our mess,
This is true. And that's
Yep.
like I said, I think that's one of those things where you talk about the misinformation and the hype
Yeah.
of, because you have people, and I've seen them, these commercials and advertisers like, we're gonna get rid of all of this in 90 days. It's like, oh my
Run.
God, like, you guys
Run.
are not afraid to like lie.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of magic wand are you waving
Right.
that's gonna say, hey, even though you signed your name on this line and you agreed
Mhm.
to pay them their money, we
Yep.
can get you out of paying them their money. And it's just like they find out the hard way. But
Can I?
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was a lag, so I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off. There was a
No, you
pause on
fine.
my end.
You fine. Do it
Okay.
again.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I can share a little nugget about that. So how could I phrase
Just
this?
now, just a few seconds.
Huh?
I think everybody just froze up a little bit for a few
Yes.
seconds.
Oh, okay.
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna I was gonna say just a little nugget about that. So there's debt management, and this often gets confused, so I'm just happy to speak to it. There's debt management and then debt management companies, and then there's credit repair. And so sometimes people think they need credit repair, but they really need assistance managing their debts, right? That
Right.
they have to pay. It is what it is. The Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA, right, that governs credit reporting, and it's what the credit bureaus have to adhere to, and they don't always do that, states that the information on your credit report has to be accurate and verifiable in accordance with that law. Now, a lot of times people think accurate and verifiable means, is it yours or is it not? Is this collection true or is it not? In the credit or consumer finance world, accurate and verifiable has more to do with how it's being reported. So in credit repair, how deletions are legally obtained is by referencing different laws in the Fair Credit Reporting Act or Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, et cetera, and pointing out their errors in their reporting. So just follow me. So when you do receive a deletion or 10 or 20, right? Let's just say you have a collection that is deleted successfully through legal credit repair. We always tell our clients, unless it was identity theft, fraud, right? Or you truly never owed it, that's off the table. But if you really owed that debt, but we were legally able to get it removed, it wasn't removed because you didn't owe the money. It was removed because they were not reporting it properly in accordance with the laws. That's our expertise. So if you choose not to pay things, you run the risk. It's always 50-50. They can sell that debt and it come back. Sometimes it does, right? We wouldn't know. Or it just is what it is. And after 7 years, you don't have to worry about it either way. So we always like to educate people. Again, that's the education, right? Like we've had a client, a private student loan, 50K. It was reporting completely out of compliance with the FCRA. So we can legally dispute that. So we disputed it and we got that 50K that 50K collection or private student loan deleted legally. But we had a very upfront conversation because they're trying to buy a house and that's affecting the debt to income ratio and all kind of stuff. So they were super excited, happy. I'm happy for you too, because protection rights under the FCRA. But I'm also going to let you know, ain't nobody forgetting about $50,000. So I'm just telling you that you want service, call your private student loan company and work out something with them. They won't re-report it, but you do want to work something out now that it's off your credit report, or else they'll slap that thing back on, whether it's in a year, 2 years, 6 months, whenever, because you owe them truly. So I hope that kind of makes, give some context.
Right.
And in that instance, doesn't that restart the clock?
No. So when you talking about the 7-year clock or the statute of limitations? Because there's two clocks.
So what happened when they in the example that you just gave, where however long it took them to put it back on there.
Got you.
How does
No,
that affect the clock?
I got you. So the clock starts from what's called the date of last payment, DLP. It's the last date that you paid something and never caught back up. You could have 10 late payments on an account, but you're still paying at some point. It's an open active account. But once you major, let's just say June payment and never paid again, the date of last payment is June. That's when your 7-year clock starts. So whether the debt is sold 10 times to different debt collectors, whether it's deleted from the credit report through legal credit repair, whatever happens with it, that 7-year period is the amount of time it can actually stay on your credit report in whatever fashion. Now, statute of limitations is a different clock, and that's dependent upon the state. So like in Texas, the statute of limitations on a debt is 4 years. In Louisiana, as of 2022, right? It could change at some point. Louisiana, it's 10, which is crazy. So New York, Michigan, I want to say Florida, I believe are 6 years. So a lot of states, the majority are 4 or 6 years, somewhere in there. And then you'll have states like Louisiana where it's 10. So even if the reason why I bring that up is the statute of limitations is how long a debt collector can sue you if they want to. So you could have, even if take credit repair off the table, you could have a collection that organically aged off your credit report after 7 years. You didn't dispute it. You just let it do its thing.
Right.
7 years came and gone, it's gone. If you're in Louisiana, for example, you could still be sued for that debt between year 8, 9, and 10, because that's the statute of limitations, if they wanted to file a judgment against you.
Wow.
Oh,
So,
God.
yeah,
That
it
was a
gets
good
deep.
explanation. Yes.
Yeah. It
Yes.
caused a lot of people to be surprised.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And a lot of people we've had people that, like, what I will say this, if once you get lawsuit papers in the mail, that's not a credit repair situation. You need to seek legal counsel.
Yeah.
If once you're being sued by a debt collector, disputing that thing is not going to do anything for you. Okay.
Hey, you know what? Now you just made me think of something. Now tell
Mhm.
me if this is true, and it may vary or whatever.
Sure.
Let's say, for instance, you get a judgment, and I think you said if it's when it's legal, you get a judgment in one state,
Mhm.
and then they get to garnish
Mhm.
your wages. Is it
It can
true if
go
you
there.
move to another state that is a no garnish state that they can't do that, or is there a way that they can?
That is a good question. I'm going to defer to legal counsel on that because I've yet to encounter a moving situation. We've had
Okay.
clients with wage garnishments and all that stuff. I will say, I'm just going to say I would defer to legal counsel on that, just to keep it clean. I have what I think, but I'm not a lawyer.
She's keeping it safe.
Yes, yes.
She follows the law. She's
She
been
I
follows the law.
reiterating that.
I
Okay.
do.
I love
She's
it.
not janky
And
Josephina.
at all. Orange is not the new black.
Okay.
It's not my color.
I know that's right. Well, listen, we
Yeah.
are so excited to have Miss Karina Simon join us today, guys. She's giving us so much great information. What I've been doing, Karina, is we've been having your information pop up on the bottom of the screen as it pop up. If you want to go ahead and give them that while they look at it,
Sure.
and then we'll move on to each one of them that you have there. Okay.
So I'm happy to share. So if you are in need of whether it be credit repair services or if you'd like to personal credit, you can visit godeluxefinancial.com. Some people just want someone to take a look at their credit reports and talk through them with you. We do that as well, separate of credit repair. So that's
Okay.
godeluxefinancial.com. If you're in need of business lending solutions, whether it's for working capital, you need to meet payroll, equipment leasing, any type of business funding, that'll be godeluxecapital.com. They're really one and the same, but Go Deluxe Capital is our lending service line. And
Okay.
then for business credit, currently I don't consult one-on-one for business credit. However, business credit from scratch, I'm live at 5 in that course every single week. You have full access to ask me questions, other students. It's fully comprehensive. So businesscreditfromscratch.com as well.
All right, guys. And then again, at her social media handle, Instagram is at Karina Simon _.
Yeah.
And again, we thank you. We thank you again for joining us today and being on here. I do have some news for our potential listening audience and for the company of two that are here now. At the beginning of the program, I stated that we would be giving a giveaway, and for those to be able to ask questions at the end of the program, we'll have a chance to win those trips. However, we will have to do it just probably a little bit different, being that some kind of way. I thought I went live on Facebook, but I went live on YouTube. All right. So with that being the case, we'll be next week. We'll ask the question about pray for a brother. Woo. So next week we'll ask the question that'll give everybody time to listen and learn and then win. Okay. So again, we thank Miss Karina Simon for all the information that she has provided for us on today to give us a little bit of help with the myths and the misinformation of business credit. Go ahead, Miss Arletha.
Did I hear you say there's two people watching?
No, you didn't hear me say that.
Oh, okay.
That was probably me and me somewhere else.
Karina, you see what I have to deal with?
Well, anyway, I think, Arletha, you got an announcement to make. This would be a good time to do that.
Yes. Yeah, but you know what? This is a subject that's loaded. And
It really is.
I do believe the people that go back and watch it, it's still going to be as impactful. And this is one of those subjects that if Karina would grace us to come back on a later episode and we do this again because
I'd love
it's so
to.
much.
Thank you. I'd love to. Absolutely. I can talk about this stuff in my sleep.
Listen,
Well, I'll
okay.
tell you what, we just may have to take you up on that after I do the editing and see how well, because we had a little bit of starring. Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm below sea level. I'm in New Orleans currently. So between that and then just the internet.
So you in the water, you probably the one messing our stuff up.
Yeah.
It's a combination.
Right. She's like, do not put that all on me.
She want to make sure she adds me in that. All right. All right,
responsibility.
I will take responsibility for my actions. But we, of course, before we make it go live, I will definitely run through it and see, because it was too. I'm thinking to myself, like, this is too much good information for there to be any kind of hangups to where we can't, people don't know what's actually, happening. So I'm like, oh, please help me, Lord, help me get this right, help me do it right. Because so anyway, we thank you. And Arletha has an announcement to make.
All right. So I have a few. So you guys know that we announced the relaunch of Encourage, Strengthen from Within, which is my book. So just a few updates. So Encourage is the ebook is currently available for purchase on Amazon.com. The hard copy is also available. However, you get that directly through me. We are on target to have everything up and available on our new website as well as all of our social media platforms by next week's episode. So you guys will be able to full-fledged access everything, but you can purchase those either on the ebook. You can even get the ebook from me. So you can inbox me, DM me if you want the ebook or the hard copy. Okay. And I want to thank all of you who it was about 12 of you guys who received the ebook last week. And then there was a host of other people who raised their hand and reminded me that they already have the book and that they were willing to reread the book to give me testimonials and reviews. So I just want to thank you all for your support in helping me have a successful relaunch. I just wanted to start with the people that I knew and that was close to me, the ones that I know it always are supportive. So people can have a proper expectation of what they're going to receive, and the quality, and the what is, Travis, you can help me out, of what to expect from On Point Alliance. Man, I'm sorry, from On Point Alliance, that too, but encouragement from within. On Point Alliance is my favorite company. All right. So, with the book, you can expect to challenge yourself to evaluate the issues of your heart. So, a lot of things that we're dealing with that we don't want to address, we try to keep ourselves busy from facing us, right?
Right.
Things that are keeping us stagnated, things that, traumas, different traumas. And we're so, some people are so angry, they hurt you, you're become someone you don't even recognize, but trying to address it, you don't even know where to start. So, yes, challenge yourself to evaluate the issues of your heart. Two, it will encourage you to assess the perceptions, motives, and intentions of what you say you believe. A lot of the behaviors that I found myself operating in was because of how I was believing and perceiving situations, the
Mhm.
reason I was over giving, the reason I find myself in these in these relationships that they were not the amount of love and attention I was pouring into these relationships, they were not being reciprocated. And then when a person gives you the middle finger, your feelings hurt real bad because the first thing they say is, I didn't ask you to do that. And so why did I do that? How, and they're right. You didn't ask me to do it. So why did I even do that? And it was because
Right.
I thought, I believe, I was hoping, it's something in me provoked me to do what I was doing. So I had to step back and assess, why was I doing what I was doing. So just because of a trauma when I was a child, I go into, for one quick example, I go buy this house because I have kids and I put myself in debt. Now I'm stressed out. I got kids. I'm a single mother. I'm in debt, all of these things. Well, if someone sat down and asked, well, why did you buy the house? Some people's responses, because when I was little, my mom moved from house to house and I don't want my kids to grow up not having their own room. Or how did you end up in this, staying in this toxic relationship? I didn't want my kids to grow up without a father. You somewhere in your mind
Right.
you came to a conclusion of what will fix the problem. So that's assessing what you believe and taking ownership of those things, because it's so easy to point the finger at other people. You did this to me, you said that, you hurt me. But we have to take some ownership, just like Travis just had to do with messing up the live tonight, trying to
Watch
stick
yourself.
everything on
Watch yourself,
Karina,
sister.
you know. Let's take advantage of that. And then ultimately renewing your mind through the word of God and embracing the real you. After you sort through all of those things and begin to, drop some of that weight, you can then begin to operate in the capacity of Christ and not within your strengths or weaknesses. So that's just a snippet of what to expect from Encourage, Strengthen from Within. And so we do have t-shirts. Some of you guys were asking about the t-shirts. So our campaign one t-shirt is this white one. It is not is a unisex. So just because it's cute, pink and purple, my husband wear his and look good in it with his chocolate self.
I sure do.
And so small to large are $20, and then there's a upcharge, a $2 upcharge for each X. So like 1X, 2X, so on and so forth. Okay. And those also will be available on my website, but you can purchase them now directly through me. Just DM me. Okay. And the giveaway. So, as Travis said, we're going to,
Oh, you forgot the
uh,
second shirt.
huh?
Did you not want to do this shirt?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't. I need to look at this. So this is Purpose is Power. This is campaign two. So what I chose to do was each chapter create a campaign. So there'll be merch for each campaign. And so Purpose is Power. Backed by God, endorsed by Jesus Christ, managed by the Holy Spirit. So when we begin to shake all of this dead weight, drop this dead weight, and begin to operate and understand who we are to God and embrace who we really are and understand that we are backed by God before the foundations of the world. We were predestined, right? The shed blood of Jesus Christ gave us authority to conquer any demonic force.
Amen.
He's given us everything pertaining to life and godliness, and us being managed by Holy Spirit, Him navigating us through this thing called life, us navigating and knowing how to move and knowing what to say, when to say it, how to say it,
Right.
right? You can't lose. You can't lose. So that's you being encouraged, and that's not a typo. It's I encourage being um um embodied by being physically in encouraged. So encourage, you have to constantly be re-encouraged, is triggered and fueled is the right word by motivation. Well, to be encouraged pulls out determination. A determined person, I don't care how tired they are, I don't care how bad things are going, I don't care how bad they feel is hurt, they just can't stop. You actually gotta have to physically kill them for them to stop. They may
Mm.
redirect that energy or um, those efforts in the misallocate all that energy. But a determined person, there's nothing like a person that's determined because they won't quit. They can't stop. And they're coachable. They want to know what happened. They want to know why this is happening. They want to know what do I need to do to get free from this. So encourage is a place you occupy, is in you, is who you're in. So that's the layout of encourage, strengthen from within. So many people I've heard recently, Arlita, you just seem like you have so much joy. It was because of this book. And I was also asked, where were you when you wrote this book, honey? Right in the middle of it. I
Right.
wasn't out of it. My deliverance came as I wrote the book and released and had to face these things, right? And one of my biggest childhood traumas of the person that caused it for me, true story. An hour within me hitting save and being done, I got a phone call and they apologized to me. And
Mm.
out the blue, never apologizes, but apologized to me. And that's when I knew, I'm like, okay, Lord, okay. So I'm grabbing this thing called life by the horns, and it's up from here. So I'm looking forward to how it's going to impact all of you guys. So that's my announcement for
I
tonight.
love it. I love it. So again, next week, what we're going to do concerning the giveaways is that we're going to preferably we go ahead and release this video, and you guys get a chance to watch it. And then next week we'll pose a question. Whoever gets the answer correctly will win the trip of your choice to either Las Vegas for 3 days or Cancun for 5 days. Okay, you'll
And the
get to.
questions are going to be, I'm sorry, Travis, it was a delay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The questions are going to be based off of the information Karina gave. I can't tell you which part, so you got to
Uh-oh.
listen. You got to listen to what she shared, and it's going to be a question from the information she gave to us.
She gave. Okay. So again, guys, we really do thank everybody for watching on tonight. And we I would say we hope that you got some helpful information, but it's too much went out. Ain't no hoping.
Yeah,
Y'all
ain't
had to
no
get
hoping.
some golden nuggets, man. It was a lot. Okay. Again, to follow us right now, give us a little time. We're getting all of the tag informations together, but right now you go ahead and follow us at onpointalliance.com. As a matter of fact, we are on YouTube, we're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Yep.
So, and
YouTube.
all of them is On Point Alliance. But like I said, our webpage is onpointalliance.com.
And
You
it's at
can,
the footer. All of our social medias are at the bottom of the footer.
yep.
Okay.
So go and check out our website. Again, we thank our amazing guest, Miss Karina
Yes.
Simon, for
Thank
joining
you.
us on this second episode of Mind Your Business Mondays. And we look forward to next week. Now, guys, next week, Olivia, you want to tell them what our topic is going to be next week?
Oh yeah, you said because you excited. Look at you wiggling your fingers.
Okay, guys. So next week we're going to be talking about how husbands and wives can work together in the same business to become a real power couple. It's going to be pretty interesting. There are some key elements. Everybody wants to be a power couple. There are some people who just call people power couple
Because
because
they
maybe
popular.
they popular. But I hear a lot of people who come into our business that are very amazed at the fact that my wife and I work together, and we'll be talking about what it really takes to be able to do that and develop yourself into be a power couple. Because when I think of power, you think about, hey, that thing is sufficient and is running on all cylinders. But unfortunately, a lot of people and couples are working together and it's not going that well. So next week is going to be very interesting conversation. It's going to be a very transparent
I
conversation.
was, oh my God, I was just about to say, don't you get on here telling all my business.
Listen, guys,
Oh,
I'm gonna tell
oh,
you,
I'm in
it's a
trouble, Courtney.
it's a unique thing
I'm in trouble.
when somebody's been telling you what to do for 25 years and then all of a sudden they get paid to tell you what to do. Takes a certain amount of anointing.
Uh-oh. I don't know about this. Somebody, I'm gonna have to give me a fill-in person. Usually true co-host.
Y'all better meet us. And I promise you, next week we're gonna be streaming from Facebook and not pretend Facebook.
Yes. We thank y'all thank y'all for y'all patience as we figure this thing out because neither one of us are tech people.
We're
But
gonna
we just felt in our spirit, just do it. Quit trying to do everything perfect and just do it in the spirit of excellence. We did do our best today. It just I don't
we
know how
did.
much to add it up to, but we did.
We did.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to next time.
And guys, remember to mind
Your
your business.
business. Okay.